Well, for years, ministers have repeatedly denied any participation in or knowledge of the torture of terror suspects overseas. But today, a report by a former judge says that British spies were aware that suspects they were questioning had been mistreated. Soon after coming to power, David Cameron promised such matters were too important to be left to MPs to investigate. Today, though, that seems to be exactly what he's done. In a moment, we'll be speaking to the minister who announced the news to MPs, Ken Clarke. But first, our political correspondent Michael Crick reports.
Abdel Hakim Belhaj, a former leader of the resistance to Colonel Gaddafi, who claims that in 2004 MI6 kidnapped him and delivered him to Libya, where he suffered 6 years' torture in jail.
When the prison guard opened the grill and threw in a red prison uniform, you know, the one they forced the condemned man to wear.
Scotland Yard have been investigating his and another Libyan's similar claims for almost 2 years. And that investigation means that Sir Peter Gibson has had to halt his wider inquiry into whether Britain helped kidnap and transport terror suspects, so-called rendition, and colluded in their torture. Today, Sir Peter issued an interim report based merely on reading more than 20,000 documents. Sir Peter says these show some detainees faced extreme harshness in their treatment, that British intelligence officers knew of or even witnessed interrogation techniques such as hoods, stress positions and sleep deprivation. And the government and intelligence agencies may have been involved in some US rendition cases.
The documents that the United Kingdom may have been inappropriately involved in some renditions.
It's a seasonal tradition, of course, that the day that the Commons breaks up isn't a bad day on which to bury embarrassing news. And it was a pretty stark chamber today. Most MPs already seem to have left for their Christmas break. Not that this is an issue on which Her Majesty's opposition would want to go all guns blazing. But the allegations, of course, are all about what happened under a Labour government. Indeed, unusually, the Speaker gave the former Foreign Secretary Jack Straw extra time to defend himself.
I acted at all times in a manner which was fully consistent with my legal duties and with national and international law, and that I was never in any way complicit in the unlawful rendition or detention of individuals by the United States or any other state.
Earlier, Ken Clarke announced it would now all be investigated by the ISC, Parliament's Intelligence and Security Committee. That's a mistake, says a senior Tory who's long pursued these matters.
Well, I'm disappointed that the judge-led inquiry has been abandoned. 3 years ago, I think the Prime Minister rightly said that the Intelligence and Security Committee probably wouldn't be up to the job, and argued that we needed a judge-led inquiry to get to the bottom of the allegations that Britain has been involved in kidnap and torture, which I find frankly shocking.
Previous ISC reports broadly exonerated the Blair government. The committee is confident that with new powers this time, they can dig much deeper.